Hey guys, Wheatywaffle here today, and we are back in City Skylines 2 playing our city of Second City, and we're going to jump right in. In the last part, we built out this nuclear power plant. We've got the SwitchCon factory here, and then set up a cargo train terminal as well as some small other businesses. And you guys had comments about a whole host of things that I've got to do in this area. And so we're just going to start addressing some of your comments and your feedback. First things first, I do want to go ahead, and I loved the comment about updating some of these roads to be asymmetrical, at least the ones going around the nuclear power plant in some places. I think that's a great idea, especially for some of these turn lanes. Like right here, we can just add a dedicated turn lane there. We come up and around over here. Now these don't actually line up perfectly, which not ideal, but that's okay. All right, we'll set these up kind of all like this. Everyone has a dedicated turn lane. All right, so we've got some dedicated turn lanes in place, which is perfect. Asymmetrical roads. Now, there was also a comment about doing a updated pumping station. I did not realize, do we even have this unlocked? No, there's an advanced water pumping station. Extracts waters from lakes, rivers, and other bodies. All right, hold on. Let's unlock this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit it. Oh, man. Oh, man. It makes me feel like this is unnecessary now, which I'm kind of sad about because I think it looks great. But there was also a comment about doing a hydropower plant right here. And if we end up doing that, this would have to go anyway. I do kind of want to build this advanced water pumping station. Honestly, it would just go right along the road here. Let me see the topography. It would just go like right here along the road and connect up and in. It is seemingly a little large. Let me just place it just to get a sense of like what we're working with. Okay, so it does force the land to flatten in front of it, which I don't love that that's happening. Soften, just give me that texture back. I think there's probably a better place to put the advanced pumping station. Like maybe that goes over here kind of even further away from the industrial. There's like another section that we build out for advanced pumping. We'll have to come back to that. I don't think it fits in this section just yet. All right, there was also a number of comments about services and making sure this has enough coverage for service. And I also had some comments about moving some farmland up here, making a small town. I want to do all that. So I think what I want to start on today is I want to purchase maybe these 5 additional tiles. We can afford it. We've got the money. But this right here is going to be a small town that supports this area. But to make this work, I first need to get this train line set up. Because once we have the train line, we can start moving passengers and cargo up this way. And then we can also rework this power line. So let's figure this out, because I have a feeling this might be more difficult than I think it's going to be. So if you look here, we have these 3 lines that come forward. Some of them go this way and end in Brightwater Locomotive. I really need to take one past and through all this. We've started to develop this shoreline here, so we can't really take it that direction. Which of these lines has my train, not my cargo lines? I need my passenger lines. We have this passenger line here. It dead ends here, but it's in this first set. It could always cross over. I kind of want to figure out if I can take it from here, but exactly how, I'm not entirely clear on. Like, this is not going to be easy. Okay, first things first. Let's remove this tiny roundabout. And let's see if I can do this. If I remove this section, it's going to be some trial and error for sure. So just bear with me as we figure this out together. Anarchy is currently off. I essentially want to send this to here, but I want to send it here and have it begin to tunnel. And we're under 5%, but are we even tunneling yet? Maybe. We might be. Hold on. This would just go straight. This would do a nice sweeping curve here. Now we could come back up, but the problem is we have this elevated section all through here, which I want to be able to avoid running into. Like, make sure it stays underground. What do I have to do? I have to bring it down way lower than I'd like, but that's okay. We're basically going to take it just past this incineration plant, like so. Okay. Hold on here, people. This might actually be working. I mean, it's a 10% grade change, which is not ideal. But, like, if we did that, right? And then we just follow the side of the highway, that could work. Alternatively, instead of going underground, we could try to bring this around and over above ground. It's just the hardest part is figuring out where I can fit it. Because like if I go here, it does fit, but that's 12.1%. Okay, hold on. Scroll back, scroll back, scroll back. We can solve this problem. See, I didn't think through this much in advance. And now I'm regretting that choice because this is not going to be easy. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's pivot. And let's start over here. Now, Brightwater Locomotive. I'm wondering if we actually have to move this terminal. I was thinking we can maybe get away with it, but I think actually what has to happen is we need to get this particular train line through this area and up into here. We could bring it further up and move Brightwater Locomotive over to this corner where we used to have that power plant. It might even be a cleaner connection too, because then like this, you wouldn't need this like kind of back road here. And we could just kind of come underneath this highway interchange. Let's see if we build... I don't want to move that just yet, but let's see if we just build a new one. If this can solve some of our problems. The problem we're going to have is just overall size. How many tiles does this guy come out to? Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So I think this would go here. Can this now fit here? It can if there wasn't a power line in the way. So let's just really quickly sever that power line. And where is this connection going? Oh, it's just like a redundancy connection. Okay. Let's move it back to here. Go underground. Grab this and connect this up to here. This is now actually being fed from this direction. And that's just servicing that. But now that that power is coming under the ground, I think we're okay. So actually, I think this and this can all go. Let's place a brand new cargo terminal right here. With entrance and exits here on this side. which actually makes even more sense because now look how close we are to the actual industry that's here versus over here where you had to go out of your way to get to this. This would then just simply connect with single lane roads. I think first I would want to level out around it, and then we're going to do this. We're going to grab here to here and slope it, and here to here and slope, and then we're just going to give it all a quick smooth. This might be over my ideal 5%. But if that's the case, I'm not too concerned about it. You're going to be going so slow anyway. Oh, hold on. No, wait. 4.8. 4.8. 1.3. There you go. So we're going to scoot that over to this section, which means this can just get out of here entirely. So let's see. I'm probably going to want to pause this because what I don't want to do is totally mess everything up. So let's do this. Let's hit pause. Let's just delete Brightwater Locomotive. It's going to unconnect a line. I know. We're going to figure that out. Don't you worry. I also think that means we can probably just redo this entire section since now we're not actually connecting to anything. This was to fill a section over here that we no longer need to fill. So I think all of these roads can be decommissioned and removed, opening up a whole new section here for us to work with. Now, I think we just got to get this train line to that train line without it looking absolutely insane. First things first, I'm going to remove this line we started with. I don't think that's the right play. Let's instead try to figure out how we get... I think we need two. I think we need this line and this line both coming this direction. Okay, so with this... The grade is already saying +4, which is kind of crazy. But we're going to bring this right over to here. If I turn on constant slope, is that better or worse? I actually think if we turn on constant slope, that might be better. So we bring this over this direction. It's starting to cut into the ground a bit. It just needs to go underground enough to then come out this way. And I think with this hill, we might suspend disbelief. Or do we just bring them over? I don't think we'd be able to do that. Hold on. If we went from here and we went up, to get over top of this, you'd have to be at a 7.8. And that's just too much. Here at ground level, still 7.8, 8.8. Yeah, it doesn't get better. So I think what we do is let's see. Can we use the slope tool to make this happen? Let's try this out. If I grab this height, which is already the lower height, and I come over to here, what do we look like? We're at a -5% slope. I still think we're going to have to tunnel, which means we're going to have to just be cool with it not lining up perfectly or staying within that 5% kind of dream level that I like to try to keep it at, which is going to be fine. If I recall, we actually had this raised. I should have left it. I undid that in the last episode, and now I'm realizing no. This was always meant to be raised. Okay. Nope. Here we go. Bring it back up to ground level. We're tunneling, and we're at 6.2. I'll take it. Then what we can do is we can... Should I have been building this as tunnels, parallel tunnels the whole time? That's a good question, isn't it? I don't actually know. Okay, I did not mean for this to make two bridges or two like kind of openings here, but I'm honestly not mad that this happened. It's all connected up. There is, you know, a moment here that doesn't look great. What we could try to do, now that we have the tunnels built, what if we removed these sections? We can rebuild that easily. And what if instead we tried to use straight slope to get from here up to ground level? I should probably smooth first. Hold on. Grab this, go to here, smooth it straight on down, and flare it out a bit. We'll give it a slight smooth. Here we go. Wait. There we go. Bam. It looks way better. You wouldn't be able to tell me that that doesn't look much better. Okay. One challenge we're going to have, though, is technically this line here is where the cargo is. But when we come up here, the cargo has now shifted to a totally different line. It's on the opposite side. So really the cargo plant needs to be positioned over here. I don't think our land is going to support that too well. But hold on. Eventually these are going to become one track. So maybe right here is where the cargo harbor or cargo port goes. Or, you know what? There's not going to be a ton of trains up here. Let's let them just cross over each other. We do not need to over-engineer this. Turn off parallel. Grab this guy. Go like this. Okay, let's do this. First, remove that. And remove this. If we were to come all the way from over to here and just somehow get this to connect. Connect it up and in. This can come straight out from here. And go straight over to there. Yep, we're going to run with that. All right, let's take this particular train line up. We're going to want to merge it in before we hit this bridge because we would not have built the bridge twice. And it's just to give it a little bit extra interesting kind of visual, having these two lines together. They don't actually need to be next to each other, but I just think it looks nice. All right, back this all back up to here. These are going to have to go underground. Parallel tool at the 0.5. We're going to want it to be curved. So we're basically going to take these and go over to here, get them to go underground. And I want them to be at the same moment. Yep. So actually, you know what? Because the underground work is just a bit more difficult to get things to look nice, I'm going to not worry about whether or not we're at the 5% grade. I even say it's difficult to make it look nice. Look at that. What is that? What in the world is that? Okay. Nope. It technically works. Don't look at it. You didn't see it. That looks pretty nice. I can get into that. All right. Now I got to figure out just kind of how we just really were connecting all these pieces together to get them to look like, you know, it's a family. So let's see. I could easily do something like this where I take just one of these roads and we connect this here. We do a similar thing down this way. So now you can easily cross there. Yeah, that works across all three lines. So that could work. And then we just prioritize getting all these lines into this line, which then is what's used to move you through. Yeah, I think that could be okay. So then let's really just back up a ton of this, because all of this needs to change. That looks much better. So now all of these are connected. They go this direction. If they want to switch, it can switch back and then come forward. We go underground here. This just gives us a whole other section to build out, which is fine. All right, so now let's grab this cargo line and see if I bring it here, how does that work? The cargo line comes forward. At this point, it switches over to here and moves its way up, over, and in. Okay. Then we should also be able to grab this cargo line and move another stop over to here. So now comes over this way, then it goes back over onto the bridge and moves out. We are going to intermix passenger and cargo lines at this point, and I think we're just going to have to be cool with that. At least for now. Now, how does that one get around? Hold on. This one comes down here, backs up. Oh, it goes all the way down to here. No. All right, so we do need a connection from at least here into this tunneled area. So I think I need to just rework all this. Let's just go into a time lapse and knock this out. Okay, I think we've got it. So we've got all three lines that end up going underground. We're going to pretend that underground is just perfectly smooth and looks great. We're not going to fret about it. But then they come back out over this way, which I think this gives us something cool to kind of design around in the future. And now we've got access to this cargo terminal and the cargo terminal over here by our nuclear power plant. Okay, let me go ahead and just do this. We're going to bring this out for now. We're not working on this area today, so I'm not going to stress about it. Just give it a little roundabout, call it a day. Now we've got to get our Cypress line. Is that what this line is called? Look, there's a train even waiting. Historic Central Station, Cypress line. This line is going to go from the Historic Central Station up here into Cypress, and then it's going to move all the way up and through over here into our new kind of town area that we have to build out. But what we're going to need is we're going to need to have a train station up here to make this work. Now, most of this is hilly. I'm thinking the town could maybe be right here in this little pocket. What's our air pollution over here look like, though? I'm realizing I'm saying all this, and I haven't even checked what this air pollution looks like, because it could be terrible. Actually, all this air pollution moves up and over towards this. This is perfect. Okay, so right here is where this is going to go. Let's see if we can figure this out. It's relatively-ish flat. I don't think we need anything fancy. We could probably just use... Where's the EE train station? Hold on, let's see. EE train station. Yeah, see, this is like... It's just tiny. It is a small little station. We can slide right in here. Now, because we have cargo also using the same line, I do want to make sure we have a bypass lane. So we're going to use this. Just use regular curve tool. We will snap to angles. As long as we're under 5%, I'm not going to stress about overall how it looks. I would love to get this on here before the bridge, which works just fine. But now we have a train station right up here. Okay, let's see if we can easily connect this line. This is kind of like that final moment of truth. Everything else there worked okay. I need this blue line, Warehouse Bend, Cypress line. Can this train reach all the way over to here? Oh my God, it can. Okay, we're putting that there. Let's not forget to reconnect to this line because I don't want them bypassing this train. Going down. On your way up. Okay, so now there is a weird... Hold on. Hold on. You need to go there. This needs to go here. So now they're not crossing over one another. Then here it's going to shoot all the way over this way. Which really doesn't matter to me too much. I would actually, I think I would rather it use this route if it could. So that these guys are not sharing a line longer than they have to. If we come up this way, we also have this purple line. That is a bit of a tight turn there, isn't it? And then it's using the other route all the way. I wonder if we force the cargo to switch over just so that they're not sharing a line longer than they have to. Let's see. If we hide that view for Cypress line, then we come back in here. I should be able to grab... Oh, well, I guess it's just a cargo line. It's separate. Should be able to grab this. We push this guy onto this line. Now, although they have a crossing over point, they're mainly separate for most of the journey until, again, we reach the common track. Okay, that's going to be fine. That works actually perfectly. Let's just get a little bit of a road network done right here just so that we've got, oh yeah, nice and flat. It's beautiful. Just so we have enough space here to build. I will probably be sacrificing some services for this area. It's not going to be a very big town. It's going to be, I mean, pretty small. You know what? Actually, this might be overkill. Remember, we're up in the sticks. We're in the middle of nowhere over here. What if put all these back to 2 lanes? What if instead we just do a level crossing? Is that crazy? I don't think it is. We're only going to be building along this side. And it's all going to be low density housing. And it's not going to be much. I think we try that out. All right. Let me just go ahead and get this connected to here like so. Now we can take the game off pause. Just quadruple check. We've got our Cypress line, which now has 4 stops. 1 train, 31 passengers moving. We've got our cargo lines. That one's moving. This one's moving. This one's moving. We could also consider giving this some upgrades. These do have to snap to the side, which is strange. The other ones do not require the same level of commitment here. All right. Would we want this? I mean, I would. I just don't think we can fit it. But anyway, they're all working. Power seems to be fine. We have a bit of a death wave. That's okay. All right. Let's build out just a tiny little road network right here. Before we get too far, should I move the power line now? Nah, we'll move the power line in a second. Let's do the road network because we've done enough of those power lines and enough trains for a moment. We're going to just make, I think, a tiny little square here in the downtown. Downtown, quote unquote. And it's just going to go just like this, right up here to the edge, right on over here, up and over. That's it. That is the heart of the city. Then what we want to do is, I will have some other roads that kind of go straight for a moment or two because there's land that supports us doing that. But like even right here, we start to curve. So I think we're going to go up forward a bit, turn everything off except for angle because I do want a little angle on this. And then we'll send this down straight. Right here, I think we could maybe make this into 2 little cul-de-sacs, right? Maybe what happens here is that this then begins to curve towards the highway. I didn't actually mean for that to be curved, but I don't I don't mind it. We take another road off here. This is like the heart of where everyone lives. So most people will live in this little area. And really, you know what? I think we do make this just a straight line. Because we could put, you know, a soccer field or something over here. Right here into the corner. Now in the center, I do think I want to place maybe one alleyway. But then over this way, we're going to start right off with the curve. And actually, I think that's all we're going to do. All right, roundabouts. We're going to do a roundabout here. All right, and now we just need to give this place a little bit of a name. Let's see. The district tool, we're just going to go kind of around the rough edge of everything. Now here comes a cargo line. Sunset Acres. I'm fine with that. We're just going to name it Sunset. This is the town of Sunset. All right, how does this work? Totally fine. Cargo comes through, not a big deal. Are you just waiting till they pass? Because I guess here's my one other concern is... Yeah, this lane here is going north and this lane's going south. And so if they're here, they have to wait a pretty significant amount of time. You have a passenger who's trying to get on this train? That's wild. Because the other train has to travel essentially this whole length and get past here. But I just don't see me wanting to have a second line all the way through here. But then again, why not? We're going to do it. We're going to do it. I think it makes a lot of sense. Finance-wise, it makes no sense. Like, why would you build two bridges next to each other? But for the sake of our trains moving, you know, at a nice speed and not running into each other all the time, I think we do it. We basically want to take this at the 180 from here and get it up to there. We'll go a little bit further north. Maybe go to here, 3.5. Yep. And eventually we'll develop all the way down here, and this will just be elevated rail that's up here on this side. Now what we can do is connect this to this, nice and easy. And then this guy, we're going to use the complex curve. And complex curve our way over there. Now everybody is happy. We're all back up and connected. Let's go and do a little bit of zoning here in the town of Sunset, just so that we can start seeing how this works. And I will say, does this Cypress line, it only has 2 trains. I think I'm going to give it a 3rd train. Just because of the length of the line. Not because it's that busy. Oh, and there's an aquifer right here. Look at that. All right. So in this section, we're going to do maybe some USA Northeast low-density businesses. Honestly, these 2 blocks. These 2 squares will be those businesses. That's perfect. Let's also do a few... See, no, they're medium density. I don't think I want any medium. Or if I do... It'll just be kind of like right here along this strip. That is not how I thought that was going to build. I don't mind it though. I thought it was going to build more like that. Let it do its thing. Let it do its thing. The rest of this though, I kind of want to do southwest. Like all of this southwest. Really all the way through. Now, none of this has water or power, which I know. We're going to get there. Don't you worry, guys. You're going to get water and power. Just bear with me. We'll fill this. We'll fill this and this. Along here, I'm going to loosely follow the terrain height. Oh my God, look at the trains moving. We've got multiple trains moving. That's great. Okay, so there's all of that pretty decent. I think we could maybe squeeze in just a touch of office right here. Like that's kind of just the offices supporting most of this area. Now let's go ahead and get water and power. So water, in sewage, we can just link up right here to the main road. It's already there. You're going to get what you need. Bam. Now you just need power. Power, we're actually going to switch up how this works. I'm going to take this power line. And right here it crosses over. I wouldn't want 2 bridges over the road. We're going to send this power line basically along the side of the train line. And I have it set to 10 meters high because I want this to be at the bigger version. There's 2 versions of this large power line. And I want to use this really obnoxiously large one. Then at this point we will drop back down to a regular size. That will connect to there. And then I think what we also do is we rework. Let's just pause real quick. It's going to get people angry. We'll rework this connection by taking this straight out from here and connecting it straight on over, where we no longer have to worry about all of this not causing anarchy problems every single time I try to build. I'm also going to connect directly into there, and I think we could then probably remove this entire line. Is that right? If I hit play, speed it up a bit. Yeah, everything's still connected. Okay, so we are going to remove that. We don't need it. This whole coastal line, at least up to here, can be deleted. I think what we'll also do is we'll send out another one this way, just underground, because I don't really have a plan for that other connection. This is connected right into here. This is crossing over and connecting into here. Really could just connect there and we ignore all of that, which might be just the better play here. If we just went like this, it's a much quicker route. Then all of this could go. Yeah. The irony that all this power is coursing right next to them and they can't get any of it. Okay, so then do we build a tiny transformer station there? I think we do. Not because we couldn't just run a power line, but because it kind of plays into like the theming of this area. Like it's not going to be the nicest spot to live. So this is going to be like kind of right here in the backyard of everybody's houses. They can connect right up and in. Now you'll have power, which is what's stopping all of you from building. There we go. We're getting these little kind of kind of commercial corridors, which look nice. And I'm hoping that by not providing many services here, we'll be able to limit the expansion of this section. Now, I am going to make this a relatively large section. I'm just going to go like this. We're going to name it, we can leave it Hamilton. We'll just name it Hamilton Isle because there's an island right there. Okay, great. So we have 2 districts set up here, which is useful. Now we do need, this was someone's suggestion, we definitely need to have some type of fire over here, because if something happens and our power plant catches on fire, we're going to be completely out of luck. I need like a tiny version. I don't need community firehouse, fire engines 3. I don't need anything big. That could be too big, though. But right here at the top of the town, we have our little community firehouse serving all the people. I left this area blank. They, up here, we're not going to do any... Should we do a tiny, tiny clinic? I guess we'll do a very small clinic. I was going to say we're not going to do any clinics, but I'm realizing that's probably like just completely horrendous. We need a very small medical clinic. You can support up to 25 patients, which is perfect. We'll place you right here on the corner. You're exclusively going to operate here. I guess you can also operate over here too. You can drive over. It's not a very far drive. Now, right now we have some traffic. I do think this traffic will subside pretty quickly once everyone moves in. However, I also recognize that like I've added in really no bypass lane to get over through all this. It gives you an opportunity to get out of the way. It's still going to be difficult for in the meantime, but once all this works its way through, we'll be just fine. Most of them, though, are actually coming over here into this little area. Town of Sunset, how many residents do you have? 300 or 650 with 300 households. But with business and with all the residents here, really this should be more than enough traffic for this. 11 people are here. 0 passengers waiting. This is the train station I'm in now. What is this one? EE train station? Yeah, let's name this Sunset Station. And then let me just add a few other small things here. I think we could get away with like a park or two. That's probably useful. There won't be... I guess the problem is I was not going to do a local police station, but if we've designated all of our police to be for certain districts, we do need some type of police station over here. I did want to place a soccer field. I was thinking that could go right there and just be a nice... It's just... It's a bit more than what... Look at all the stars. It's a bit more than what I was hoping for here. I was thinking just like a flat soccer field without a stadium. None of that. Can I better bulldoze some of this? Hold on. If we do this. Similar category. Exact match. Unfortunately, this is going to have that blue turf along it. That's okay. Get rid of all of this stuff. I don't want any of this stuff around. You know why this is not a soccer field? Because it's not a soccer field. It's a football field. Just get rid of it. Get rid of it. It's not even what we wanted to build. I wanted to build this. And honestly, I'm fine with that little stadium. That doesn't bother me any. No wonder that looked that way. All right, we're going to have this guy here. I do think it would be a part of the local school. It would have to be. I mean, there's nothing else is happening out here. So we are going to do a small elementary school over here. It's going to be assigned just to this district. Somehow it already is nearly at capacity. Extension wing and gymnasium. Can't really fit either here. If we were to go like this, I could fit an extension wing this way. At the sake of sacrificing that house. Which we might need to do, but for now, that'll be just fine. And I think actually, hold on. Let's just move this real quick. Place it here, just for a sec. Let me go ahead and upgrade this road to have parking on both sides. Then we can scoot this back on over here. Maybe we do bring it up here to the corner. Even can drag part of this surface straight on down and just fill out this area. Like so. Maybe give it 1 or 2 trees. Okay, there's our little school area. Love that. We've got parking. We've got this. So now, how are you doing here? You're really not doing well. I want to believe this is all because people are moving in. But I also don't think that like this is actually enough. Okay, we are going to turn this into a proper interchange. Let's go ahead and we're going to use highways for pretty much all of this. Let's grab a straight piece here. We're going to go from here to here and start working our way up. Actually, this could go just like this. There's your on and off for that particular highway. I do think it means we can then go ahead and downgrade this. Give that a 3-lane. Bam. Beautiful. So there's our entrance. To get from Spruce Highway onto Elk Highway, though, I do unfortunately think we need some type of connection. I think that could just come down this way and connect over here. Or we could have it go underground. I think underground would look the nicest. Let's do this. Let's grab an alleyway and go like this. Grab another alleyway and go like this. Right here, these pieces need to be elevated. Go ahead and get rid of all this nonsense. Then I need to build one here. It needs to be flat to the ground. That works just fine. Bam. This connects right up and in. And then for here, unfortunately, there's not going to be like a nice way to do this section. So what we're going to do is this. We're going to grab this one-way road. We're going to go from here to here, straight on in. And then we're also going to come straight on out. You're going to curve into this guy. You're going to curve into this guy. Get rid of this little extra piece here. I think we also just need to really hit this with a smooth tool because it does feel like a little much. Like, why is there so much dirt along the side? I don't want to see all that. But then again, what are you going to do? I do think we could turn this into an elevated segment with key walls on it. It's saying it can't do it. I might just anarchy it. If I can do the other ones, yeah. Oh, there we go. Didn't even have to use anarchy. So now we've got a nice road coming in through here. That looks pretty good. It's a bit more engineered than what we had before, but now there's a clear place for people to get on and off this highway. This needs to be switched over to a 2-lane. Turn all that off. Even frankly, turn this off. I need to get it to line up to there. This one needs to line up to here. That can be a turn lane, turn lane. This turn lane doesn't need to be so long anymore now that we've got a dedicated space for that lane. So that can just go like so. And then this one here needs to go right here. It's a little bit too long for my liking though. So we'll bring this out. We'll upgrade this guy. And then we'll remove this guy. There we go. That's going to solve that traffic jam. Now, to get in and out of this area, you can use the train. However, I do think it would benefit us to have some type of bus transportation in this section as well. And for these two sections that are totally surrounded by business, we're going to get rid of any of the grass that's here. Can do the same thing with this. And we can do the same thing here. Great. So that's all businesses. We've got a few offices here. Nothing crazy. What is this? Sing Tape Records. Level 1. 54 employees. 41 employees. I actually like low-key want to ride the train. Traffic's getting solved. This is working out okay. This area does need to have some kind of trees. I think the main street here would not have any parking. It would just have trees. And then I think most of these areas here, you've got single family homes. Pause. How many people are on the train? 87. We've got a number of people waiting. Now we've got 40 people getting on, but look at all these people getting off so they can get to their houses. That's phenomenal. I do think we probably want to put a parking lot or something there as well. Let me just give this area a little bit of grass. All right, so basically everywhere there is low density housing, I've got grass set up along those sections. Few areas where we're letting for overflow parking. Then where we have all of our businesses, there's parking facing the front of the business, but not facing the front of the houses. 54 people on there. I think by building this, we have just increased, look at that ridership, 202. 10% usage. It's become so much more useful now that we've got this further station. Now, I will say there might be a chance that there are many people taking this train just to leave the city entirely. Let's see. We got some people walking this way. Some are walking there. If I click on this train station and click on where y'all are going, yeah, many people are using this as a means to walk to leave the city, which is fine. That's gonna happen. But it also just means we've got more people using the train. Happy about that. Already 70 passengers waiting to go downtown? Hold on. Next train. 87 passengers. We're going to ride this one. 87 passengers. A ton of people just got off. We now got 62 people on the train. Of course, I get excited to ride the train and it takes forever to go. All right, here we go. We're headed down into the city from our small little town. We have 80 people on our train. I don't love this bridge. I may come back and edit the ground underneath. I don't know. It's able to go pretty fast, though. This part here, we're going to suspend some disbelief at how much this train just dropped. Oh, gosh, it's bumpy. And how much it came back up, but that's okay. And we're right next to our cargo line. Now, let's see how this works, because you got to cross over. All right, it's not too bad. The cargo had to stop, but that's okay. Cross right on over. We go underneath this park. Come all the way around and through here. And pull right up into Cypress Station. All right, we have 80 people on the train now. 94 are on the train, and some did get off. There is more use on this train line than there has ever been, and all I did was add some tiny little town on the edge of the map. It's got to be because all the homeless trying to leave, but I'm okay with that. I love these houses right here. All right, moving through the narrow. Going underneath Evergreen Terrace. Little community garden, very nice. Loop around this way into the central station. Haven't been down here in ages, it feels like. How many passengers are we in? 363. How many get on this train? We're at 97, 69. And now we're at 301. It also means that we probably won't need to worry about... I think this is the bus that goes all the way Sheffield to Sierra Hill. No, that's not the one that goes external. There's a bus we have that goes external. And I was concerned that everyone was just going to be using that. But now we have actually two separate train lines, I believe, that go to different cities off our map, which is going to be great for just getting people moving and getting them out of the way. Look at this. It's looking so good. We're at almost the end of August, which means that we've been building the city every single week since January. All right. 46 passengers. So a lot of people do transfer here at Cypress, which I do enjoy. I like seeing that. Let's get back all the way up to the city. I just really want to see the interplay between this train and the cargo trains and make sure there's not any immediate bottlenecks. But so far, it seems pretty good. And I'm making sure we stay in the right lane. Like, I want this train... Oh, my computer's not liking how much it's trying to process. Here, I'll zoom in. We're on 3 times speed, by the way. Sometimes the CPU can't handle all of the motions these people are taking. Because once it happens, it's unlikely we're going to recover. If I move out this way, are we better? There we go. That's better. All right, so the train's moving along this way. I do love this park. I think that looks fantastic. Once we get back to Sunset, we need to build out a police station and a quick little bus network. I think that's what we're going to call it a day. All right, we switch over there. We didn't even run into any cargo lines, which is great. Now we've got this whole new area for Brightwater Locomotive to work on and rebuild. I think I might even move the EE office. That's a unique building that I placed there, and I think I want it to live somewhere else. Moving right up along here. $49 people. I wonder how many people are waiting here. 100. That's what's amazing. So like 49 people coming over here is fine. Some of them are going to be homeless trying to leave the city, and we get that. But the 100 people here, 113 at the highest, that are all going to be waiting to then go back into the city is so cool. Okay. We're back here over in the town of Sunset. We need a small little police station. Just something tiny. Small police station. I might even place it right next door. Like, we're in this tiny town. The services are right next to each other. Bam. What we could even do here too is we bring out a alleyway up to here. Then we bring out a parking road right along here, which on both sides is going to have a key on it. That's perfect. I will do just a slight, tiny, small amount of trees. Nothing crazy. Just a few. It's going to really just amp it all up. Look how much better things look when you have a few trees. Just a little bit. Bam, bam, bam. All right. Now we also need a post office here and buses. And then this area is basically done. Post office, under comms. You guys also don't have, I think, any telecom, do you? You have a little bit. I mean, we could get away with building out one of these towers for you. I don't think that's the end of the world. Yeah. I think they can go right there near the train. It's because there's so low density, you've got maybe the fastest internet of anyone. And you guys also need a small post office, which right here, I was going to put a park. I think I still might. I don't want all the services to be exactly on the same road. So I think the small post office might go right over here. Right near the center of the town. Your primary focus is here and here in case there's anything going on over here. Your primary focus is here and here. There is already some crime happening over this way. Let's do 1 or 2 post offices or post boxes in this area. We'll place one right back here. And we'll place one right over here. And then I think the SwitchCon would have their own dedicated post box. This whole area is covered now. I'm not going to worry about trash, I don't think. We've got a little bit of education here with our school. It does need an extension wing because we flipped it. We can easily move that to that side. Now we need our bus network. Actually, but first, let me just place a park here. We just need like a tiny little park. Large playground. Large playground really isn't even that large. Like, I would have thought it would have been larger than that. But let's do this. Let's do a large playground here. And right next to the large playground, can we fit the small park too? We can't. Is there another 3-tile piece that we could sneak in here? A dog park. If we turn off snap to road, I can place it exactly next door. We then come in here with some trees. Fill in all this area. Make it look a little bit nicer. Bam, bam, bam. And then I think what we can do is you just come in here, get rid of these surfaces. We'll leave that one there. But then we'll take this surface right here and just fill all of this with grass. Bam. So now we've got a small little park area there for this little town. 48 passengers waiting. 45 on the train. Amazing, amazing. Let's throw in a little bus network and call it a day. Do we need a dedicated bus depot out here? I don't think we do. I can't imagine there's going to be many buses on this line. We're going to have a line that starts right here in front of our train. And it brings people over this direction and stops right over here at this intersection, servicing this section and this section. Comes over here, it'll stop right here, kind of servicing this area here. We'll cross right over. We'll do another one here since we're in the heart of everything. We'll do one right over here by the school on the way back. And then it'll come back around and we'll do one more stop, maybe right over here on the edge of town. And that's it. It's not going to be anything fancy. We're not going to go the other direction. It's just going to be a small loop to get you to kind of the key things in this part of town. That's it. Bam. All right. And with that, I think we've done it. We've now got this nice little town sprouting up across from our industrial area. I got to start building out more industrial here. I also want to start considering moving our farms. I think now that we're building out a small town, our farmland could start to populate this area around the town, giving this a bit more of a purpose, and then freeing up that land for something new in the future. All right, guys, I think that's where we're going to end this part here. A quick shout out to my channel members. Thanks so much for your support. I really appreciate it. If you're interested in becoming a channel member, click the link in the description below to unlock custom emojis, loyalty badges, early access to videos, save game files, members-only content, merchandise discounts, and more. And until next time, leave your questions, comments, and feedback down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Lorelai, follow your dad out. I can't have your tippy taps. I can't edit them out.